Hi everybody, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, we have an update on all those cars that were stolen in Southampton. We have the Celebrity Cruise Line is made a big announcement about their river cruise ships. We have a man facing years in prison for something really dumb that he did after a gambling debt on a cruise ship. And we have people are saying, hey, how come we're not getting any money back from this cruise? I mean, it did rain. That's right, we have an update on those cars that were stolen. Southampton people returned from their cruise only to find out 17 cars were stolen despite there being security guards, despite there being patrols, despite there being CTV closed-circuit TV cameras everywhere. Thieves were organized and made off with 17 of the ships. Well, some good news for some of those cruise passengers is that 6 of the vehicles apparently have been recovered and in good shape, not damaged so much so that they can just return them back to the clients. So that's some good news. The police are not saying if they have any suspects yet or if they've caught it. What they did is they spread out the closed circuit TV monitoring, and they knew the license plates and they knew the cars, so they would just track them on the CTV footage until they found the locations. No word yet on if they noticed people or facial recognition or anything like that, because it's still under investigation. This whole thing's under investigation, so we won't hear anything about that. But some good news for some of those passengers, 6 of the 17 vehicles being returned. That's some good news. Also, some big news, if you've been waiting for those celebrity river cruise ships to try and book, remember they they opened up, you could buy a lottery ticket, shall we say, in order to be one of the first people to put in a bid for one of the cabins when they became available. And those sold out in like 6 seconds, literally 6 seconds online. Well, Celebrity has now opened up actual bookings. Now you can actually see the cabins, you can actually see the prices, the sale dates, etc. And they are on 2027. That's the earliest you can book. In fact, when I was looking this morning, the earliest I could see an actual booking available was August of 2027. So yes, a little bit of ways away yet. 2 years basically to wait for these river cruise ships to get on. Other people, of course, will be able to get on ahead of time, as the ships will be selling well before then, but they will, they basically sold out pretty much right across the board. Congratulations to Celebrity. I was looking at the rooms and a lot of people were talking about like the infinite skylight balcony and wouldn't that be great? If you take a look at that and you look at the balcony suite, there's only like 10 square feet difference in the size. So the sizes aren't huge on these ships. There's no grand suites on these ships from what I can see, at least the ones I can see that are available. So keep that in mind when you're booking. Take a look at the actual size of the rooms and then look at the price you're paying. And don't be fooled necessarily by the grandeur of the name, them calling it a suite and non-suite. The suite may literally have one extra sink and an extra 10 square feet. And that's basically the difference in the cabin. Take a close look when you're booking. When I was looking, I could have saved about $5,000 going down 10 square feet. So that's a lot of money to save. Next, let's talk about the man who was supposed to be being sentenced today and etc., but it's been postponed because he was on a Resorts World cruise. That's like the Genting Dream, those type of ships there out of Singapore. And he gambled every night in the casino and racked up about $2,000 in debt on the cruise ship. So frustrated was he that the cruise line dared to take his gambling money when he was gambling and lost it, that the minute he got home, he started making threatening emails to the Resorts World staff. First, he called into the office. This is where he also used the same email address that he used to book the cruise. So this person's not all there. This person doesn't have all his baskets in a row, his ducks in a row, shall we say. Let's put it that way. We already know what kind of person is going to make these kind of threats. And he's doing this over $2,000. Well, unfortunately, using the same email address, he was easily caught. But he was making threats like, if I don't receive my money back, I am going to blow up Resorts World headquarters. If I don't receive this money back, your ships will burn. If I don't get my money back, all cruisers and Resorts World will face the consequences. Wow, right? Totally wacko. First of all, they're not going to give you your money back. They're going to send the police to your house. And guess what? That's what they did. His email address is there. They have his booking address. And they just knocked on the door and said, is this you? And he goes, yeah. Well, guess what? All the proof is right there. They now have him in court. He's pretty much in trouble. And I'm pretty glad, and I'm pretty sure everybody at Resorts World and cruisers are pretty happy that this kind of crazy person is definitely off the streets. Yeah, over $2,000. Whew. I mean, it takes all kinds, folks. It absolutely takes all kinds. Speaking of taking all kinds, we have a woman who wrote in to Carnival Cruise Line, and they were saying that in a local newspaper, a woman was complaining that she took her 5-year-old or 7-year-old son on a cruise vacation where it was a 5-day Royal Caribbean cruise. And unfortunately, it was rainy, and it rained every day, so much so that they even ended up skipping one port, probably a tender port, which means they, couldn't get in, etc. And she was under the assumption, she says, that cruise lines will just go away from bad weather and go someplace else instead of sailing into rainy days. And so she said Royal Caribbean is not giving any compensation to this couple at all. And it rained every day of their cruise. Does Carnival give back money for rainy days when they purposely sail into rain? Do they do that? Of course, the answer is no. No, they don't. Let me explain to you how weather works. Weather is a natural phenomenon, and no human being on Earth can control it, including the cruise lines. What the cruise lines will do is avoid hurricanes and weather like that, tropical storms. Regular rain showers, they will not change their destination. They will continue on their destination, whether it's rain. They will try and avoid the worst of the possibility of waves and stuff like that. But cruise ships can handle rain, right? It's just like if you booked a resort in the Med, and it rained in the Med. They're not going to give you your money back because it rained. If you go to Disney World, they're not going to give you your money back because it rained at Disney World. Yes, cruise ships can move, and to her point, can't they just go someplace else? Yes, they can. How many people would now be complaining that they changed the itinerary? Right? That's often the number one complaint cruise lines get is, hey, I booked Bermuda and we ended up going here. Or I booked to go to Mykonos and we didn't go to Mykonos because this happened. Okay, stuff happens because of weather, etc. But the cruise lines are not going to just randomly change ports unless they have to for a very good reason. And that's why they change ports. They're not going to change ports because it might have a 30% chance to rain that day. And no, they're definitely not going to give you your money back. Let me know in the comments down below. Do you think they're going to get all 17 cars back? Do you think those people have been identified and we just don't know about it yet? I mean, if they can track the cars on the TVs, so closed circuit TVs, I'm pretty sure they must have got some pretty good descriptions of people as well. Well, I hope you appreciate this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world? Hit that subscribe button. Until next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.